My name is Peggy Guy. I am a retired teacher living in Hendersonville, North Carolina. I'm currently working as a realtor. When I counsel my clients, I welcome them to the nuclear heartland. Quite often, they don't stick around. My interest in nuclear issues began with a series of rare, debilitating illnesses and the subsequent death of my mother, who worked at the Y-12 nuclear plant in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. You may tell me her death is not relevant today, and that our nuclear power plants are perfectly safe now for your workers. For a while, I was content with those explanations, but reality has a way of intruding upon the most carefully concocted public relations efforts. I stand today on the shoulders of those courageous nuclear workers like my mother, whose voices were silenced much too soon by illnesses they could not comprehend. Conscientious young workers who believed in their contributions to a war they all wanted to end, and the Cold War workers who witnessed the growth of atoms for peace. We lament the loss of those loved ones, the sacrificial lambs of the nuclear industry. Many never knew the pain of being called traitor and unpatriotic, or being told that they hated America because they dared question the conditions that may have led to those rare, unexplainable illnesses. My mother knew that pain, yet she remained a fighter for greater transparency and responsibility from our government and from the nuclear industry throughout her life, her short life. I remember those early days of the Atoms for Peace movement, when we were all bewitched by the power of nuclear science to lead us to an energy future too cheap to meter, and a nuclear plant as harmless as a chocolate factory. But time has a way of challenging one's innocent acceptance of that successful promotional campaign. I did not know then that the sanctity of scientific truth would be subverted by the need for speedy corporate profits, that competition would lead to cutting corners, which would prove deadly for workers and for a trusting public. I could not comprehend that the nuclear corporations in our government would manipulate science for their selfish ends. I did not know that the most valued nuclear scientist was not the one who searches for truth with no financial interest in the outcome, but the one who contributes to the corporate bottom line. I thought back then it was our nuclear scientists who were making key decisions to ensure our safety, not the business ethics of corporations. I was ignorant of the depth of nuclear corporate deception. I did not know the nuclear industry was deliberately concealing the risks of nuclear power at the same time they were publicly promoting it. I did not anticipate the growth of a public relations industry devoid of any moral foundation, ready to provide glib reassurance to an alarmed public during any nuclear crisis. Nor did I anticipate that corporate control of our media would marginalize and discredit those voices of dissent. I did not know that regulatory control over corporate malfeasance would grow weaker than at any time in our history, nor did I anticipate that the revolving door of nuclear regulator to nuclear lobbyist would so distort the climate for safety expected by the public. But I am older and wiser now. I recall the voice of Dr. Pollard, one of those early nuclear scientists who said, one of the things we discovered was that our theoretical calculations did not have a strong correlation with reality. Indeed, as you listen to those words, think of 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl and Fukushima. Ponder the possibility of the many near misses at nuclear plants the world over, the ones known only to those captains of the nuclear industry, but kept hidden from public view. Dr. David Michaels, currently head of OSHA, admonishes us in his book, Doubt is Their Product. The distortion of scientific knowledge for partisan political ends must cease if the public is to be properly informed about issues central to its well-being. Regulations that protect our public health and environment must be based on the best science available, not the science bought and paid for by the corporations. We are victims of a broken regulatory system and a broken government, one that serves the interests of the corporate bottom line. May we be renewed in our efforts to take our government back from multinational corporations, beginning with the nuclear industry, as we continue our efforts to occupy Wall Street, to occupy our courts, to occupy Congress. May we vow to occupy a safe and renewable energy future. Thank you.